Greetings. My name is Alexander Kai. I am a student in Dr. Rita Smith's HSDR 508 Interpersonal Communication Studies class. And I'm here to talk to you today about the importance of listening, along with introduce my interpersonal communication project. Over the course of this class, I've learned many things about listening. Listening involves not just what you hear through your ears, but also what you can see through your eyes and with the individual stimuli that comes within your eye range. Right now, if you're looking at me through your eyes, you can see that I'm not just talking. I also have a picture of my wife and myself on our wedding day. And I also have my degree, which I've taken recently from Liberty University in Christian counseling. And underneath that, I have a quote with my non-Greek social fellowship on it, which is Groove by Groove. So right now, I'm introducing myself, and not just in terms of the way I'm talking, but also what's around me. And that's what I learned about listening from this class. That's very important. It's not just about what you hear, but about what you see. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and move on over to my interpersonal communication project, introduce to you my slideshow. Greetings again. My name is Alexander Kai, and now I'm going to introduce to you my interpersonal communication project. One of my reasons for doing this project, besides the mandatory requirements, is so I can learn a lot about listening and learning the importance of it. So over the course of my time in this course, I've been blessed to be able to research and peruse 3 different books. One was Listening: The Forgotten Skill by Madeline Burley Smith. The other one was Why Don't We Listen Better by James C. Peterson. And the other one was Bridges Not Walls by John Stewart. These 3 books were very prevalent throughout the course of my project. They also helped shape me and how I developed in terms of my listening throughout this course. Then I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you my interpersonal communication project. Here we have a young couple, like myself and my wife. We're both relatively young in our marriage. And of course, again, my name is Alexander Kai. In our next slide, this is myself introduced. This is my introduction of myself. It states that I'm currently enrolled at Liberty University and I'm in pursuit of a master's in human services. Today, I will be presenting my interpersonal communication project to you. My overarching goal is to be able to have great communication skills with my wife. That's why we have the 2 wedding rings in the picture. Why I struggle with listening to my wife. I struggle with listening without disagreeing. Sometimes when we're communicating, I tend to just try to find something to disagree with her about, unfortunately. Listening without advising. Always try to fix situations instead of listening to what it is that she's saying. Listening without defending, always try to figure out something to kind of be the antagonist when she's talking to me. And I learned over the course of this class that my listening style tends to be Perry Mason. It's like I'm trying to investigate instead of just listen to what the person, or my wife in this case, is saying. My history. I have this information written here. Basically, I was raised in a home with my 2 brothers and my father. My mom was around, but she unfortunately wasn't spending a lot of time with us. While there, my father and my brothers, we did a lot of talking, but we didn't actually have conversations. It's like, my brothers would talk, and my dad would talk, and I just have to do what they said. And that pretty much was the style of conversing that I learned growing up. And that also, I think, is one of some issues that me and my wife tend to struggle because when I'm talking, I actually tend to have a tendency to want to just her to do what I say instead of actually wanting to have a conversation, which she deserves. My behavioral blend. My specific blend consisted of DCI. D represents the personality of one who is dominant, demanding, active, and task-oriented. C represents the personality of one who is cautious, contemplative, and passive and task-oriented. I represents the personality of one who is inspiring, influencing, and active and people-oriented. My dominant trait. D was my most dominant behavior and temperament out of the 4. My behavior blend helps me to realize that I am definitely not one to follow the crowd. It's because I probably don't want to listen to what they probably have to say, unfortunately. Barriers that limit my effectiveness and cause misunderstandings. Searching for reasons to disagree. It's a terrible thing. Instead of listening, I'm trying to figure out a way to disagree with the person. Appearing overconfident. I tend to think I know everything that I'm talking about, and the person may not be quite as knowledgeable. Abrasive speech. The way my temperament is while communicating can be, deemed offensive, and I need to acknowledge it and learn how to come off more subtle. High expectations. I expect us to be able to keep up with whatever I'm saying. If they can't, we're gonna have a problem. That's an unfortunate barrier that I need to get better at. And these things, as we see here in the slideshow, are under construction, meaning I am working on them. My plan of attack, right now my wife and I and myself are definitely in counseling, so I'm going to continue to receive the counseling. I'm going to incorporate the skills learned from this class, the discussion boards, and the textbooks, and I'm a very big believer in God and the power that He can work within me. So I'm going to continue to engage in prayer and believe that God's going to fix the problems that I have with listening. Excuse me. Internal and external noise. Internal noise can present a health hazard in many business activities. External or environmental noise may be regulated. The most effective way of controlling noise is by removing the source of noise. If this isn't practical, take steps to reduce noise levels. Look at each source of noise in turn and consider how it can be controlled. Noise is important because it can affect one's mindset, the way their temperament is. So it may be subtle and even a subconscious noise that's coming from within or externally. When that happens, it is very incumbent upon the person to try to remove the noise so that way they can actually function mentally better, and it also helps their overall way of living, as I've learned throughout the course of this class. And these are my references. We already talked about Madeline Burley Allen from the Listening, the Forgotten Skill book. Dealing with noise and pollution, I did some further research on it, via some internet sites. That's what this reference is talking about. How to improve your listening skills and mix-ups. I believe I did a journal reference from Liberty's online journal article site, and that factored into my presentation as well. Confident listening, strategic finance. In a business world, you have to be a good listener so you can actually be able to respond accordingly. I did some research in terms of that, which also helped me during this project. Peterson, J.C. Why Do We Listen Better? This book right here is the crux of what I used during this project. Very helpful, and I'm going to continue to reference it while I'm continuing to try to progress in the skill of being a better listener. And we see Bridges Not Walls by Stewart. Very important book, very good book. It talks about a lot of various things, not just listening, but talking as well, which I really appreciated. A very good book, and I plan on continuing to reference it as I continue to progress in my listening ability. Well, we've just gone through the slideshow of my interpersonal communication project. I really hope that that I was able to help and be informative during my presentation. I'm not really a speech major, so I did the best I could. But I do want to tell you that listening is not the key to being a good listener. Being able to be open to listening is the most important part about it. Thank you.